All right, guys, Happy New Year. This is our first video for 2021. This is graphing systems of equations. So what you're going to see on this video are systems, and we're going to be solving it by graphing. First off, a system is a situation where we have two equations. So as you see, we have two equations for each of these graphs, okay? So we're going to be talking about how we solve, and keep in mind, it's going to be more methods that we learn throughout this unit. So here's the first one. So graphing is not a new concept. This is the same graphing that we've been doing for semester. So this first equation is in standard form, which is your ax plus by equals c. So in order for me to know my slope and my y-intercept, because I do have to know those two things to have a graph, I'm going to take this equation and solve it out for y. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, and that'll leave me with negative y equals 4 minus 2x. Okay, now notice I have negative y, so I got to divide by -1. So if you need to add that imaginary 1 in, go ahead and do that. So I'm going to divide both sides by -1, and my answer will be y equals -4 plus 2x. Okay, so this is my graph. So now I have it in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We know our m is right before the x, and we know our b is here by itself. So I'm going to write m equal b equal. So my m is 2, and my b is -4. So that lets me know on my graph, I'm going to be starting at my y-intercept, which is 4, and I'm going to go up 2 over 1. Okay, and let me correct that. That's -4, so we want to start down here. Okay, so I'm going to start at -4, and I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1 each time. Okay, so I'm just plotting those points, and to get the rest of these, I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And now I'm going to connect the dots, and this is graph 1. Okay, so that's my first step. My second step is I'm going to graph my second line. Okay, so I have this one in slope-intercept form, so it's a little bit easier. Here is my slope right here and my y-intercept. So I'm just going to write that out. So I have m equals 1/3, b equals 1. Okay, so I'm going to start at +1. And I'm going to go up 1 over 3. So notice right there we have an intersection point. And I'm going to talk about that in a second, but I'm going to keep doing my graph. So up 1 over 3, then down 1 over 3 for this side. Okay. Then I connect my dots, and that's my graph. Okay. So as you see, this is the same graphing that we've been doing. The only difference is that you have two graphs. So to get my answer, let's go back to this intersection point, okay? We see that it's crossing at 3, 2. So 3, 2 is going to be my answer to this system of equations because that's where my intersection point is. So this will be my one solution, okay? All right, this next one, let's go ahead and get into it. So it's in slope-intercept form. So my slope is -2 over 3. My y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to start at 1. And I'm going to go down 2 over 3 because that's my slope. Okay, so down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. Then the rest of these up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. And I'm going to connect my dots. Okay, so now I'm at my next graph. This is in standard form. So let's go ahead and solve it. I'm going to write it out on the side. So to solve for y, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm going to have 3y equals 9 minus 2x. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. The 3's cancel out here, so I have y equals 9 divided by 3, which is 3, and I'm going to keep that negative 2 over 3x. So if you notice here, we actually have the same slope, so that should kind of ring a bell there, but if not, just wait until you see the graph. Okay, so I have b equals negative 2 over 3. I'm sorry, m equals negative 2 over 3, and I have b equals 3. So we're going to start at 3 for our y-intercept, and we're going to go down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. And the rest of these up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. And that's my graph, okay? So now when I'm thinking about my solution, this is actually not gonna have a solution because as you see, those lines will not cross. Those are parallel lines, so we do not have a solution for this system of equations. So whenever you see a graph like this, that answer is gonna be no solution. So one solution here for this one that I had here, and this is what our no solution looks like. Okay, so let's look at our last one. Again, this is in slope-intercept form, so that makes that a little bit easier. So we have negative 2, and we have 3. So we're going to start at 3 and go down 2 over 1 each time. Okay, I went 1 too many. Okay, so I'm just going to do my dots. Like so. Okay, up 2 over 1, 2 over 1, 2 over 1. Okay, and that's my graph. Let me do that again. Okay. All right, my next one is in slope-intercept form. I'm sorry, standard form. So I need to solve it to get it to be in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. I have 2y equals 6 minus 4x. I divide both sides by 2. Those cancel out here. So I have y equals, we have 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then we have negative 4x divided by 2. That turns into negative 2. Now, if you notice, these are the same exact equation. They're just switched around. So my slope is still negative 2 and my y-intercept is 3. So I still want to draw my graph and it's just going to be right on top of each other, okay? So I do want you to draw both graphs. I know some students earlier was like, well, it's the same thing. I still want you to draw it and notice how I'm extending it out so we can see that it's two different graphs, okay? So this is what we call infinite, okay? Or you can say all real numbers, meaning any point that's on this line will be a solution to our system of equations, okay? So these are your three types of solutions. You have one solution, which will have one intersection point. You have no solution, parallel lines, and infinite will be right on top of each other. Okay. Now I want you to try this one at the bottom. I want you to pause the video. And then once you think you have it, go ahead and press play so you can see if you got it right. Okay. Go ahead and start. All right. So let's go ahead and look at it. So both of these are in slope-intercept form, so it makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to have m equal 3 and b equal negative 4. So I'm going to start at negative 4, and I'm going to go up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1 each time. Okay, so hopefully you did this right. And that's my graph. Okay, then my next one, negative 1 over 2 is my slope, and my y-intercept is 3. So we're going to start at 3. I'm going to go down 1 over 2. Bam, we have that intersection point right there. So we're good to go. Okay, so up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Okay, so then we connect our dots, and that's our graph. So we see that it has one solution because we have that one intersection point, and it's crossing at 2 and 2. Okay, so when I write out my answer, I'll say this system of equations have one solution, and the solution is 2 and 2.